the glorious and mighty religion of science tells us that up to 50%, in some cases, in certain pharmaceutical drugs, in certain situations, that up to 50% of all healing is due to the placebo effect. I know it's 1/3 when it comes to headache pills like Advil and Tylenol. That 1/3 of people have their symptoms of the headache alleviated from taking a placebo, where they think this pill is going to help my headache. It's going to relieve my headache, the inflammation in my head, the headache symptoms. In certain cases, for certain drugs, it's up to 50%, up to 60, 70% even. So that's the mighty religion of science. That's the most recent religion, and our priests, the scientists, are telling us that. So there's gotta be some serious investigation then into this. What's going on here? What's happening here? I mean, that's people that are not even deliberately trying to use the placebo, and 1/3, half of the healing is occurring due to it. Now imagine if people knew that they have this power, they possess this power. Imagine what we can do. Well, that's because the first principle, the first hermetic principle, the all is mind. All is mind, and all is in the mind of the all. In other words, the universe is mental. That's the principle of mentalism, the first principle. Mind precedes matter. Mind precedes matter. So matter is the effect of its cause, which is mind. Now, there are certain programs in this reality. There are certain programs. It's a probability-based reality. So it's programmed in a certain way, and you take on a body within the program and is also programmed in a certain way. So there is the program of gravity. That's a variable. And the probability of you transcending the gravity program are low, slim, unless you can pull a Tibetan monk move and go into your mind and go deep into meditation and change the probability to the point where you're able to levitate. Mind precedes matter. So you could fly, you could levitate. That's, Moses split the Red Sea. Right, that was just a metaphor, right? That was just a metaphor because, it's good. You're showing people, you're displaying to them their true powers, what they're capable of, or you're just showing them their higher potential. But I mean, come on, he didn't really split the Red Sea, right? I mean, these are just some deluded Jews wrote this stuff down and told us. And Moses was high on DMT anyway, right? So I mean, right? Who can believe a druggie like Moses? Right, and I mean, he wore short pants, so how can you trust a druggie that wore short pants in the middle of the desert? Doesn't make sense. Yeah, he did. Yeah, right. That's not a metaphor. He's and Jesus didn't walk on water neither. That was also a metaphor, right? Of course. They were able to shift the probability. They were able to shift it due to the maturity of the soul and due to the mind-body complex program that they took on. So Jesus already took on a mind-body complex that had certain powers activated. So the chances of him manipulating the probabilities of the laws of nature are a lot higher than your average person. Just like Messi's probability of becoming the best footballer ever was already better from the time he was born. He's just, his body, the way it's programmed to just be this unbelievable agile body. So that's the explanation for talent. And so certainly Jesus was talented in that way. And I know a guy his name is Joe Gallenberger. You can look him up on YouTube. And he goes to Las Vegas and he manipulates the odds. And he has workshops. He takes people with him, and they do it. They manipulate the odds, and they make a lot of money, and they donate a lot of it to charity. So it's all, it's at the end of the day used for good. But even if it wasn't, it's pretty cool to know that you could do that, right? There's black magic also. Aleister Crowley was a black magician, and was able to manipulate the odds, the probabilities of the reality by contacting other entities, etc. But the dark side, the Darth Vader, if you will. Although he was a positive entity, according to Ra. Anyway, that's off topic here. So, the placebo is you manipulating the odds, is you using your mind to manipulate matter. And to what extent, it's gonna depend on the context, on the situation, on so many things. Your innate talents, your innate abilities, your predispositions, your genetic programming. I think if you're over 7 feet tall, you have a 17% likely, you have a 70% chance to be already playing in the NBA if you're over 7 feet tall. Okay? What are you gonna do? You're gonna argue with genetics in that way? I mean, you're gonna be over 7 feet tall. I mean, you're already like you're a tower. So yeah, give me the ball. I'll put it in the net. So yeah, the NBA scouts will pretty soon see you and come to you, and so it's like a 17%, 20%, let's say. So 1 in 5 people, essentially, who are over 7 feet tall are playing in the NBA or are, involved with the NBA in one way or another. So yeah, it's just you. What are you gonna do? I mean, that's you don't have to do much mind to manipulate matter. There, you're already 7 feet tall, and there is a sport that values greatly height. So yeah, so it's gonna depend on various factors here. You see, it's gonna depend on various factors. Now look, if you're in some kind of stage 3, stage 4 cancer, it's already, it's just your body has been in such an acidic state for so long, and your odds of healing yourself from cancer at this point are slim. And you don't know about fasting, you don't know about dry fasting, you don't know about anything. You may have a 1,000 to 1 shot to heal the cancer, okay? And you may okay, you may use your mind and say, no, belief, I'm going to believe. I believe I can heal myself. I believe 100%. And you go on and you meditate and you go in and you program your cells in a certain way. You may be able to reduce the odds from 1,000 to 1 to 100 to 1. You're still most likely to die. The cancer is most likely going to claim your body due to the lifelong abuse of it and the lack of knowledge to fix the issue. You see? Now, if let's say you start off and your cancer is stage 1, you've got cancer, but it's still in the early stages. Let's say your odds are 100 to 1. Still, that 100 to 1, it's going to claim your life. But you just found out recently that dry fasting is miraculous. You don't know for sure it will heal you, but you dry fast. Or let's say you water fast. Let's not take it too far here. Let's say you water fast. You're like, wow, some people actually healed their cancer with water fast. I'm gonna water fast. So the water fasting alone, on its own, has taken the odds of you making it from 100 to 1 to, let's say, 10 to 1. Fasting can do that. So now you have a 10 to 1 chance so still the odds are stacked against you. But now see, combining the water fasting with some mental programming, some neuro-linguistic programming, you go deep into meditation, into hypnosis, you program your cells, you send them healing energy. So the water fasting has taken it from 100 to 1 to 10 to 1, and then the meditation has taken it from 10 to 1 to 1 to 4. So now you're actually more likely to make it and heal that cancer. So you see, it's you're always working with the physical programs, the pre-existing physical programs, the odds around you all the time. You're always working with them. See, if you're eating healthy and you're doing a lot of fasting, your chances of getting cancer are slim to none. You don't even have to use your mind anymore. But in certain cases, so you're both working with the mind to manipulate the odds around you. But sometimes the odds are too stacked up against you. If you're losing a football game and it's the 91st minute and you've got 3 minutes of stoppage time and you're 5 goals down, you're not gonna score 6 goals to win in 3 minutes. It's an impossibility. It's an impossibility because you score 1 goal, okay, the other team will get the ball and they'll just pass it through between them for 2 minutes and that's it. Let's say you get 2 goals. Odds are too much against you. And sometimes odds are too much against you. You see? Sometimes they're too much against you. But a lot of times they're not. And so you can use your mind. Now, the stronger your level of focus, the stronger your meditation is, the stronger your level of focus is internally, the more you're capable of manipulating the odds. Somebody with a very, very powerful level of focus, like an adept meditator, can take a situation where the odds are 1,000 to 1 and can make it 1 to 1,000. Flip it the other way. That's somebody that's seriously adept at meditation, seriously, with a seriously focused mind. Most of us don't have that. The world is too distracting. It's the Kali Yuga, it's the age of darkness. But some of these folks in the Himalayas who dedicate their entire life to meditation, they can take a situation where the odds are 1,000 to 1. Now they're really utilizing that mind over matter, the placebo effect. The placebo effect is simply mind over matter. It's simply the mind is the creator of matter. So an adept meditator with serious levels of focus, like Jesus was. Jesus went to India, spent years and years just training. Training what? Training his mind. You see? So he's able to take a situation like walking on water, which, what are the chances of you walking on water? Maybe 10,000 to 1, 100,000 to 1. And he's able to make it, in his case, 1 to 100,000. So I flipped it. So he's gonna walk on water. His chances of not walking on water are slim to none, because he's able to. He's went into the Godhead. He's gotten back his God powers, because the all is mental, and all is in the mind of the all. All is mental. Everything is mental, and that's the placebo effect. So look at your own life and see where you can use this placebo effect, because almost always you can use it. Almost always you can use it, because in most life situations that we face on a daily basis, the odds aren't that much against us. They're not that much against us in almost every way, actually. Health, well, just educate yourself. The more you educate yourself on what true health is, you're already manipulating the odds. You're already applying the placebo effect. You're already using the mind. So if you begin to incorporate fasting, because you're learning about the power of fasting, and if you're on the breatharian path and you're incorporating a pranic lifestyle, you're already manipulating the odds. You're already now in favor. You get to a point where it becomes almost impossible for you to get sick. The odds are so stacked up against you getting sick. You're already applying the placebo effect by virtue of receiving the information and applying the information using your mind. You see, we are operating within certain cosmic laws and physical laws here. You can understand how a Tibetan yogi can fly, right? They don't really do it anymore. Maybe they do. But certainly the old school ones were pretty notorious for flying. Milarepa and his squad, his homies, they were pretty notorious for for levitating. You know, it's all over the scriptures, the Tibetans specifically. The Theravadan Buddhist monks are not interested in that esoteric bullshit, but Tibetans, they like that. And so, you know, how does a Tibetan monk do that? At least the old school ones. Well, again, your entire life is dedicated to meditation. So you're meditating all your life. So you're developing the powers of mind, the powers of focus. And so you're taking a situation where your odds to fly are, say, 10,000 to 1, and it flips over. Just flips over. You literally flip it over. And so you're basically able to fly at will, essentially, if you're a master adept meditator with incredible levels of focus. The other thing would be that you're born with what Ra calls a green body ray activated. So the green body ray is the fourth, the heart chakra body. It's a green ray body. If it's activated, you're gonna already be doing all these miraculous things. Like, you know how Jesus found out that he can do this crazy shit? He killed somebody with his hands. Can you believe it? Look into it. He killed somebody. He killed somebody because there was something going on with that person, and he wanted to heal them, and I think he wanted to heal them, and he put his hands on that person, and he didn't know about his powers, and apparently there was so much energy that it killed that person. So, you know, that's because Jesus's fourth ray body, the green body, was already activated. So sometimes you're just born with an unfair or possibly fair. We needed Jesus to have those powers. Sometimes you're born with an advantage. Messi is certainly born with an advantage. Clearly, he's just Messi. Clearly, he's born with an advantage. You know, just pure talent, unexplainable talent. Guy was 4 years old, taking the ball and dribbling through all these older kids that are, 8, 9, 10 years old, dribbling through like it's nothing. How do you explain that? Well, his soccer body was activated from forever. Probably also based on his work in his past lives. He might have been a dancer, etc., etc. So Jesus, same thing. He must have been doing this work so long that when he came here, it was easy for him. So, credit's given where it's due. It's not just like by accident also. And yeah, that's the placebo effect. Alchemy. We're all alchemists. There are certain limitations, but depending on the time and the place and the location and the context, they can certainly be overcome. And the time is very important. Like in the Kali Yuga, in the Age of Darkness that we're in right now, it's hard to do a lot of these things. Unlikely for most of us. But if it was a different time, like if it was the Sat Yuga, the Age of Truth, the Age of Enlightenment, everybody would be doing these things. Everybody would be flying. We wouldn't have transportation systems. We wouldn't have technology. Why would we need it? We wouldn't need it. So everybody would be just flying and teleporting. Forget flying. It would be teleporting at that point. Like instant transmission, Goku style. So yeah, that's about it. Thank you to all the Patreons. If you got a couple of bucks a month to spare, you like these videos, you are a fan of this community, you're a fan of this asshole here, you can spare us a couple of bucks a month. That would be greatly appreciated. I want to thank all the people. We got over 30 people now. That's a lot of people, honestly. Like, that's 30 people. Like, if I had 30 people here, it would be like a big circle right around this hut. 30 people said, hey, look, I'm willing to support. So thank you guys. If you want to join the family, the link is down below in the description. You can also do one-time donations on PayPal. Follow at Instagram. You could message, video requests, or anything like that. Just look up my name, Saeed Mobayed. And until next time, may the force be with you.